Episode number 257.
And so I've been able to basically figure out the long process and shorten it up in a way where people can make monetary return in the first couple months of working with us so that they can continue building.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis 𝐸𝐸𝐻, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis 𝐸𝐸𝐻. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up. And after this show, I think you guys are going to want to focus more on digital and seeing, are you getting more attention around you and you as a influential person? And how can you do that using podcasts and media of the future? Like we're going into the future, folks. But I'm really pumped to bring you our featured guest today, Adam Totounji. Adam,
What's
to be real? What's good, brother?
Dude, your energy is nuts.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm your personal trainer of today. So tell you guys a little bit about my man, Adam. He is the CEO of Mogul Insider. And folks, as you guys know, the main thing now is podcasts. And there's so many also other ways to reach customers using digital. And basically at the end of the day, helping you get more influence about your message, your brand, your service, your app, whatever you're out there wanting to sell. There's so many opportunities in podcasting and YouTube and collaborations with others. But then my man, also Adam, his focus is helping to create a more positive impact in people's lives too, which I can tell you not everyone is in the game to do. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show today, my man, Adam. Like I do all the guests. How's your day going today?
My day, I was just telling you, man, today was one of those days where I was like little mentally drained.
Yes.
Yesterday, I don't know why. Yesterday, for some freaking reason, I think my brain was operating too much. I was overly sweating. It was weird, and it was hot. So I was drained. I was dehydrated. So I woke up today. I was like, you know what? Today's one of those days where I'm just I'm gonna do my thing in the morning. So I chilled. I kicked back, came to the office a little later. But you kind of mentioned something before we started. It's a marathon. One day I do, folks. The day before it was a 16-hour shift. So
yes, it's like, especially if you plan on being in business. We started our business 11 years ago, folks. You got to think of it that way. It's not just some quick hit wonder. You want to have monthly recurring revenue, stuff that's coming in every month. And even if you get hit in the face, like a lot of us are in the marketing industry, and maybe down 30% based on Google ad trends and Facebook ad trend data. The bottom line is we're going to get more new customers because we're willing to put in the work, and then there's going to be those days, Adam, I'm right there with you in that even though I have great energy most days, some days I don't have the greatest energy. And some days I just personally feel like, man, I'm mentally drained, dude. I need to just relax. I need to focus on my work-life balance and get some more rest that day. And
whatever that means.
Yeah. Right. But feed into your relaxation and lean into that early morning, for instance, in your case, this morning, because that's what you need to do as an entrepreneur. Know that you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. every day and get everything done. Now, there's going to be days you do that. But there's going to be days you wake up at 11 and it's going to be okay, So that takes me into you and your business, my man. Mogul Insider. When you're thinking about creating a business to help people in digital and get on podcasts and tell us just a little bit about the business. Tell us a little bit about what you do and kind of how you help customers first.
Well, man, look, I think before we get into that, to make sense of it for people, kind of my story ties into a lot of why I do everything. I grew up, being a kid where I was just a dreamer. Like I was a dreamer. I was a maniac about just dreams. And the reason for that is because, I didn't really go through the schooling system. I was in a private school from like preschool till second grade. And then third grade, I go into a public school for 1 year. Gotcha. Mom pulls me out and I get homeschooled from third grade to college.
Wow.
So I think because of that, I was not limited by society's quote unquote, adjustments that you go through those ages, right? Like, oh, you're gonna grow up and become an engineer, a doctor. I wasn't told any of that stuff. My mom always just instilled in me like, hey, whatever you do, just make sure you're successful. Actually, the only thing she really cared about is she's very religious. She only cared about, hey, my thing is I want to enter paradise with you. That's it. Her focus was like, I want to make sure my kid understands his faith, and that's all she gave a crap about. Because in her head, she was thinking if God and him is connected together, he'll find his way.
Right.
So because of that, I had a lot of dreams, man. And, it's funny. I'm going to be very honest with you. My biggest dream was to be very famous. I really, I don't know. It was a very ego-driven, you could say that, yeah.
Right. Justin Bieber. Let's talk the biggest dream.
Dude, honestly, I used to not envy Justin Bieber, but it's funny you brought up that name because I used to look at his level of success and be like, man, the stuff you could be doing with that amount of influence.
Right.
That's always how I looked at it. I always looked at it as, man, if everyone in the world knew me, the things I can get done. Right. And so
right.
I kind of got into college with that mindset. So what I did immediately is I ran for student body president. At the age of 15 and a half, 16, I was in college, man.
Wow.
And I won. And
wow.
I will never forget the day, man, where I go to the office because if you win president there, it's like you get your own office, you get everything, your own parking spot, the whole thing is taken care for you.
That's crazy.
I walk into the administrative office and I'm looking at the billboard where they posted the results, and I'm like, whoa, hold up, that's my name. What? And I think that was the biggest first public kind of move that I made for myself, right?
Right.
Always in my head, I've always wanted to be the guy who I want to know everybody. I want to walk into a room, and if I don't walk out without knowing every single human being, I've messed up. And I don't know why. At that point, it was just kind of like an addiction because I noticed that, okay, well, what if I created my own fame, right? Because I don't like Hollywood. I religiously don't agree with 99% of everything that happens there.
Right.
Acting is actually not allowed in my religion because you're not supposed to do sexual acts, things like that.
Violence or something like that.
Violence.
Yeah. Right.
Even if it's an act, you're not supposed to do it. Don't even engage in it. And so it's against my religion. And so I realized that, okay, if I wanted to become famous, I can't do it through the Hollywood scene. And so I was thinking to myself, what if I became so popular one day that I could control other things? So I could be the guy to walk into Hollywood and say, this is going to happen because of who I am. You know what I mean? Sure. Again, I repeat, 25% of that was ego. Right. But the 75% was really I went through a lot in college. I went through a drug overdose after. Because of that, I dropped out of college. I pursued my own journey. And I was really interested in one thing. How can I create real influence around the world? Because of everything I went through, I was the kid who was bullied. I was the kid who was the outcast. I didn't really have an education. I mean, I did, but it was everybody, all my friends were going into colleges, getting degrees, and I'm just that dude who's
trying to figure it out still.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. I've tried a bunch of YouTube channels when I was younger. I've tried. So I probably, up until this point, man, this is probably my 25th project or something that I've taken on that's finally succeeded. This is 7 to 10 years in the making, ladies and gentlemen. And so I just started really early.
Right? You just kept trying. You just kept trying. You kept working. You kept not being afraid to fail and have these little downfalls and learn. Because not everything you do is you're going to just hit gold on every single thing. Look at even Richard.
Man, yeah, to me, though, it was I had no choice. It was either this or I'm going to be outcasted as a failure. And to me, hell no. I'd rather die saying this guy tried.
Right.
And even now, we're talking on this podcast, I have a firm belief that what we do is going to impact the entire world. 100%. I want to be in the history books. And I'm saying this on the podcast right now. And sure, people can call me crazy and say, wow, this guy's so full of himself. Yeah. So was Elon Musk when he first started. So was Bill Gates when he first started. So was Albert Einstein. So was every other great man that we know that's lived this earth. In the beginning, they had a vision. They wanted an outcast and they wanted to chase it. Back when I was younger, man, I didn't have the confidence to have this conversation with anyone, though. And so anytime I ever told anybody what I wanted to do, they were like, what the hell does that mean? My main focus, though, was I noticed one thing, right? After my drug overdose, I remember clearly. I looked myself in the mirror and I told myself, Adam, this person that you see in front of you is not the person that's going to ever exist ever again. My pupils were black, dilated. I was lost, confused, worried, had nothing going for myself, right? And I was just popping pills to kind of get rid of that. Right. And it was against my religion, all that stuff. And that's the thing too. I had a huge religious battle because I was born and raised as this kid who follows his religion face. And we all go through these. And so what I realized was one big thing. I was like, what's missing? What's missing is a real system in place where somebody like me, somebody who is different, I guess you could say, who is an outcast, there's no system to back that person through mentorship, education, and information. Like, it's really hard to get information on how to build a 7-figure business. There's a lot of people out there who say, I'll teach you and all, but the real shit, the real stuff is hard to obtain. And so this whole journey for me was to bridge the gap. I wanted to see a world, my vision one day, this is, by the way, what's so freaking crazy that we're doing a podcast is I had literally a dream. I'm sounding like Martin Luther King right now. I literally had a dream after my overdose where I was speaking through a microphone and there was billions of people listening to what I was saying. And it's too crazy how years later, 5 years later, I'm here doing podcasting. But anyway, so the Mogul Insider came to life because of the fact that I noticed a massive gap in the world of social media. After I started so obviously I have this vision. This vision is to one day be able to influence the world. I have 3 rules. I want to educate the world on what's right versus wrong. And when I say what's right versus wrong, on controversial topics too. Like, there's a lot of things where I will be in your face and I will tell you, you are being an idiot. Right. Like, I'll tell you one thing, our generation right now, like, and the generations to come, I'm worried for them because we are creating a generation of lazy ass effing people.
Yes.
You know,
entitlement.
Yes, dude. And so it's like, really, like, the 3 things were to educate on what's right and wrong, to stand up against like oppression, right? And to use their influence and power to educate the world on what they believe is the way. And so what I noticed is, wait, hold up. What's the best way to accomplish that? Right now, social media is an amazing tool to attack the entire world. Another thing that I did notice too is how many entrepreneurs or quote unquote legit influencers that have real backing, like real businesses and real stuff that are actually on social media. Probably what, 15, 20 players we can count on the top of our head. Like, you know, I mean, people like David
Gary
Meltzer,
V,
Gary
absolutely.
V,
Absolutely.
Tony Robbins,
Tom Bilyeu, my dude, yes.
Yeah, but like, bro, but I by the way, mad respect to all of those guys. Right. My problem with that was there's 7 billion people in the world, man. Why is there only 20 of them? Right. So I noticed that there's a massive gap right there of people that have what it takes to really create real influence and provide real information, but are not using their tools today to do that. And then I started to ask myself, why? And that's where Mogul Insider came to life. Basically, the answer to that was, A, people don't know how. B, people, unfortunately, are very selfish. We are grown in a very selfish, which is fine up to a certain degree, though. Right. The world of social media is value. So you really have to fall in love with that. Right. If you're that kind of CEO that's all about ROI, sure, you'll make a lot of money from attention. Monetizable is insanity, right? But if you start with that mindset, you're going to get nowhere. And so what I noticed was that there was a huge gap of people who don't have the time, don't have the resources, and don't really know how to make it to the level of Gary V or to the level of like, how the hell do I do that? And so Mogul Insider represents, this is why the name actually Mogul Insider. So the word mogul, for those of you guys that are listening, is basically in the dictionary definition, somebody in the media world who has a lot of influence and power. And someone who has a lot of influence and power through media can create real change. And so what I notice is if I'm going to go out and change the world, all I'm going to take ever credit for is starting the movement. I actually believe I'm creating a movement. But what I notice is that I can't do it alone. There's no way. Right. And so through my content that I push on TikTok, Instagram, social media, every single platform, through my podcast, through the guests I interview, through the clients I help, every single aspect, the idea is I'm creating a nation of moguls who are allowing the ability to create a better infrastructure for future generations to come. A place where if you're not really down to go to college, you don't have to. You can go and figure out another method. A place where, you know what's right from wrong, and the media is no longer pushing an agenda on you. You are look, I'm not pushing an agenda. I just want you to wake up. Stop being a sheep, right? Like, wake up to the reality in front of you. Question things. Ask yourself, what's going on? Like, we are so taught in school ever since we were kids to not question authority, to not question certain level of like influence and power. Oh, if he said it, that means it's probably right. Bro, even the content that I have, I tell people all the time, just because I said something doesn't make it the truth.
It's just what you believe, though. It's just what's worked for you, and it's what's got you to this point.
Yes.
You're still going to learn more. My man's still learning more, right? 100%. I mean, you're always going to learn more, folks. Anyone that's listening right now, that's the best part about this journey, right, Adam, is that it never ends. We're in the marathon, right? Shout out to Nipsey Hussle. I mean, shit, I used to love just listening to his music because that shit just got me through the tough times and those hard days, grinding all my life. You know, the point is in life, folks, is that it is a journey and you get to choose. You get to choose and know that if you one day you don't feel the greatest, come back the next day stronger. Don't let excuses slide by, and I think that's the beautiful thing about what you created is that, I mean, dude, there's so many people out there that want the influence. They need that, and that's their fuel, but they don't know how to get it. And they need a professional to help them kind of work that, navigate that. I'm sure someone listening on the show today is like, oh shit, my boy Adam's about to do this for me.
I'm basically creating a world of mentors.
Got you.
And I'm leaving it up to the individual to choose, because what I noticed was a whole entire world of people who are unhappy and depressed because they wanted a certain life, but they were too scared and they were told that it's not possible. So they decided to go choose somebody else's perspective. I literally have one of my team members here on the team, right? He's literally in the office right now. Bro, his biggest problem is that his dad is forcing him to go to college. The kid's 17 years old. He's killing it with us. He's killing it. The guy is literally like, at a 17-year-old, he has more potential to make more money than any other kid his age can ever even foresee or imagine. Because he's pushing it. Right. Yet his dad is saying, no, school. Actually, not just that, he's telling him that if he gets a B in a class, he's going to force him to quit this job. Wow. Dude, like stuff
That's
like
fucking
that
crazy.
pisses me off.
That's
because
crazy.
I'm like, wait, hold up. You're forcing someone to do something they don't want to do and they're not good at because you think that's the only way to success.
Yeah.
And so that's my biggest problem. And that's why Mogul Insider exists. And basically what we do at Mogul Insider right now is we basically help people create exposure, influence, and impact by getting them featured on other podcasts. And so like I've had a lot of my clients who are, from anywhere from C-level execs running 8-9-figure businesses to your local physical therapist who's looking to spread a message out. What's cool is, I have the ability to spread my wings from all ends. I'm looking to just really, my goal is not the money. I think money though is important to create the fuel that you need to grow. Right. But my main focus that drives me, which is why getting a podcast pumps me up, doing podcasts is the ability to see that vision come to life. I want to be able to one day. That's why Mogul Insider, shout out to Gary Vee. I'm just going to call him out on one thing, and I hope he listens to it because I know he'll respect the fact that I'm pretty open about my opinions. I think what he's doing wrong is that his company is too tied into his personal brand. Too much. Like, if he dies, VaynerMedia dies with him.
Right.
It's dead.
Right.
Dude.
That's true.
If I die, I want Mogul Insider to poof.
That's
you see how you said Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle thrived after his death. That's a legacy, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to do that. And so to me, the way I look at work and everything that I do every single day is, look, even if I don't accomplish it in my own lifetime, as long as I can, I don't know if I'll ever know, but I really hope and I pray to God that, I hope I'm able to live the years where I see it happening.
Right.
But if it doesn't, I'm okay with that, dude. I really especially after my drug overdose, it really opened up a lot of things in my head.
Right.
When you go through a near-death experience, you realize how minuscule
a
lot of the worries is. And so, yeah, man, that's where Mogul Insider came to life. And, it's crazy because I've been at this for years. And so I've been able to basically figure out the long process and shorten it up in a way where people can make monetary return in the first couple months of working with us so that they can continue building. Because at the end of the day, look, it's really rare to find people like me and you where, we're dedicated to the value so much so that even if we don't get paid and we go broke, we'll still do it. Right. However, other guys, I understand. You got bills to pay. You got things. You got responsibilities. And so, however, they still want to do it. And so I created a path where, we're able to basically attack one goal. We call it the ultimate goal. And, that one goal is usually completed within the first 2 to 3 months. And that goal could be anything, personal, business. I have a client of mine who wanted speaking gigs. We got him a speaking gig. I have a client of mine who is looking to push out his course online. Right, so we're getting him booked on podcasts to be able to do that. I have a client of mine who wants to meet and partner up with Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, wow.
Like,
That's
it could
crazy,
be the most random thing. The beauty about having exposure, you could do anything with it.
Right.
The only problem, though, is most people haven't figured out what we've been able to figure out. Like, haven't figured out, how do I get on podcasts and how do I leverage your audience? Like, full transparency here, if you don't mind, like, me being on your show and, vice versa. How do I leverage your audience to be able to bring a traffic and attention to me? That's where I think our expertise really comes in, because I don't really consider myself as just I'm sure visionary is all cool, but if you don't get down to the nitty gritty details, it's all BS at the end of the day. And so I see myself more as a business driven marketer than anything else. Right. I just have like a really good balance between, business driven results and vision.
Right.
So it helps me guide the client step by step. And usually, like, dude, once they see the first thing happen, that's it. They're clicked. That's it. Like, it becomes a drug. Because once you start to see the potential you have, I mean, like, how many listeners do you have on your podcast?
Every show is a little bit different, but probably around 35,000 downloads a month.
See, that's insane.
Yeah, it is. It is for what I try to do and build. It is. It really is.
Oh, a massive props to you, bro.
Thank you.
35,000 people listening to what you have to offer. And so,
fucking nuts, dude.
It's podcasting is the most goddamn beautiful way, because you've, like, to be fairly honest, you've already put in all the work. And so when I come on as a guest, it's such an honor for me to be here, and I feel very special because I'm like, oh shoot, you're basically inviting me over to your house.
Right. With
like,
a bunch of people. Hey.
Yeah. It's a party in this. Let's go. Not just that, you're giving me the microphone and the attention, the center of attention, which is so big. So it's basically like, imagine you're inviting me to a party at your house with 35,000 people. Right. And the moment I arrive, you give me a microphone, spotlight turns on, everyone shuts up, and they're listening to me and me only. And guess what? That 35,000 people are, if you're smart with it, like if you know how to position yourself correctly, that's where most people go wrong. They just don't know how to position themselves. They're potentially the audience that you need to build your business, to build your success.
Absolutely. And
so, dude, anything's possible. Like, the world of podcasting has created as long as you're strategic, a process where you can literally tell me, man, like, bro, I want front seat tickets to the next season of the NBA.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, we're going to do XYZ. I'm going to get you on this sport podcast that's going to connect you with this other podcaster that's going to connect you with this guy. And you're going to eventually get connected with Uninterrupted, LeBron James's media company. And then from there, you're going to be able to build a relationship because of your back end. And then one day you get to meet LeBron. And then from there, 6 months down the road, we continue building this. Boom, you got front seat tickets. You're welcome.
That's fucking amazing, dude. What a cool job, dude. You got a great job. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
That's fucking badass, dude. Now we're folks about to take my boy into hit the top 10. Are you ready, my man?
Let's go.
Let's go. Apple or Android?
Apple for business, Android for personal.
Boom, there we go. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube for business, Netflix for binge watching.
Yeah. Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook for ads, Instagram for, dude, everything. I use social media all for business. Right.
To be honest. The IG, baby. The IG, the DM IGs.
But if I were to choose, I would right now currently IG.
Yeah.
Actually,
chicken or steak if you're thinking about a good meal.
Chicken.
Boom. Laptop or smartphone?
For what? Just
when you're like on the go. When you're on the go. Gotta grab one.
On the go, bro. This is my on the go. iPad and phone.
Bam! He's got both, folks. He ain't playing games. Spotify or Pandora.
Spotify.
Boom.
By the way, Spotify is doing a lot of awesome stuff for us podcasters, dude.
Dude, my stock has just been going like this since they signed Joe Rogan. Movies or video games?
Yo, by the way, I want to talk to you about that because that's crazy. Like when Joe Rogan signed $100 million contract, it's like, what? Yeah.
Not just to license his stuff. It's not even exclusive. It's just to license it. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I would say games.
Video games. Reading books or listening to books?
honest to God, dude, I've tried. Like, and this, by the way, I want your listeners to really hear this. My biggest struggle I had in this journey is I was trying to fit into what the world used to tell me. Because in every world, you're always fed shit. Like, even in the entrepreneurial world, you open Instagram and you got memes that say, work 12 hours a day, read 150 books. Do you know why Bill Gates is so successful? Because he reads 57 books a year. Well, fuck that shit, dude.
Right.
Like, what I realized is after a while, like literally years of trying to be this person that I'm not, because that's what I was told to do. Because I was so naive. I was basically told that, like, when I would read something, and most people, I'm sure, same thing. They would read something online that says, hey, Jeff Bezos reads 57 books. Okay, then probably there's a correlation to that. What people tend to forget, and I want everyone to understand this deeply, is those statements are very generic. And there's always find the custom approach to you. When you hear something like read a lot of books, basically it just means get educated. Right. And so to answer your question, I do none. I tried getting into reading. I do have like principles, but I have a whole shelf of books that I opened half-assed and I barely finished. What I like doing, my way of education, is the following. I'm really good at two things: building relationships and making money. And so what I do is I build a relationship, I make money from it, and then I use that money to build another relationship that's going to help me. So like I literally right now, just to be honest with you, I just dropped like $8,000 into a program to help me with with a certain, like, I need someone to help me with like a mentor and a
like something you need help with.
Yeah, like I went after somebody who has an agency. Like, so my goal by the end of this year, I'm trying to get the agency to $250,000 a month, right?
Nice, there we go.
Yeah, and so I have this guy who I'm talking to, who's his agency is at $350,000 a month, and so I was like, yo, okay, this guy's already done it.
Yep.
This guy knows what to do. So what I did is I went and I paid $8,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, I first paid him $500, but guys, listen to this stuff. I paid him $500 for 30 minutes of his time.
Wow.
30 minutes. My dad, my mom, everyone called me crazy. Like, bro, you're so crazy. Like, what the hell? That 30 minutes, though, taught me more stuff than I would have known in like 6 months of trial and error.
There you go.
Right. And so I proved, and I've been following his content for a while. Shout out to him. He's really good at what he does. And so what I did, I was like, you know what? I like this guy. Okay, cool. So I spent $8,000. More. And then that's just that. Now my next step, because I already have second step planned out. So once this works out well, my next step is I already have another relationship where this guy charges, I think, $60,000 a year for coaching. Right. However, he runs like an 8-figure agency. Every single month, 8 figures a month.
Wow.
Like, it's stupid numbers.
Wow.
Right. That's how I learn.
Yeah.
Now, is that the right way? I don't know.
Right. But that's just your way. And that's right. That's the beautiful thing. I think that's your big message in what you're saying too, my man Adam, is that
everyone has their own way.
Yeah, it's like, don't just think you have to be someone else just because you see that certain way. Like, be your own way. That's why I created the Be Real show. It's like, hey, I could be real. My cat could come in right now. The door could open right now. We're doing COVID from the house. The point is, it's what you want, and you create this life. So that leads me into my next question. When you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're getting ready for the day. Why do you love being you?
Why do I love being me? I think the most emotional, like, and I go through this almost every day, is realizing the potential I have to really change lives. I mean, my TikTok just recently started blowing up. I got a couple videos that hit over 1 million, and I got one at 2 million views. It's going crazy, bro. I went from like 0 to 70,000 followers in like less than 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, the power on that is nuts. Here's the weird part, though, man. I don't know if I feel like you'd understand this. Timing is so important in business, because I started this journey when I was 17. Right. I went through my overdose at 18. Right. I'm about to be 23 now. 5 years or so. In those 5 years, guess what I was doing? I was hustling,
grinding,
failing, eating shit.
Right.
I went in debt, $80,000 in debt. Had credit cards stacking up. I almost filed bankruptcy, then figured out, oh, no, I should. Bro, I went through every little – bro, I have – like, it's funny because I'm 23, but I probably have more life experience than a 35-year-old, right? And I say that with utmost blessing. So, like, to answer your question, really, I look myself in the mirror, and I'm grateful to be me for one reason. I'm grateful that God's given me the opportunity to be a servant for the world, because I think that's the real happiness. Like, it's real. Like, when someone comments on my show, my TikTok episode, and was like, yo, this changed my life. Or someone messaged me a DM, like, I'm sure you've had it. Yo, your podcast episode made me do X, Y, Z. I have a firm belief that one day, I don't know if it's probably already happened. I don't know. Like, the way I look at content and everything I do is 1 like is enough. Like the fact that, like, listen, dude, I don't know why creators are so caught up in their shit.
Right.
The fact that one person took time out of their day to watch you, engage with you, comment with you, and really, really, really care about you. And what do? You don't respond to their comments. You don't talk to them. And so really, I'm glad to be me because I notice the potential. I'm always like if you talked to me 5 years ago, I would have told you, bro, I have no idea. But now, finally, after seeing results, and it's crazy that we're talking right now because like it's literally right now going through this exponential curve.
Right. Hey, you're hitting it right now. My man during the Rona is hitting it hard right now. He's hitting it big, baby. He's going for the Grand Slam. I'm
on what they call the come up, but I'm excited because I noticed now for once in my life that my vision, I'm no longer crazy. I actually started thinking I was because everybody said I was. My mom never did. My mom always supported me, but she had her way of supporting me. And so and as a kid, you always think nobody understands you and all that crap. So, but I always thought like, cause my vision, dude, was I just want to create a world where people can seek their full potential if they wanted it to. That like in amazing. One sentence, that's it.
That's like, amazing.
I want to create a world where people, if you want to go do something and if you want to go out there and crush it, you'll have the resources to be able to do it. And a world where people don't look down upon you if you're doing something different. And so for the longest time, though, when you have that vision in a world where it's the exact opposite, you start to question yourself. I started to ask myself, like, wait, what if I'm crazy? Like, what if I'm really overbooked? But then we know what kept me going is hearing stories like Steve Jobs, these guys were like, when they started. Because I genuinely, again, I know right now I'm speaking out of fluff. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not that yet. But I always saw myself that. Always. Like, if anybody ever asked me, even when I was a kid, dude, when I was 7 years old, I told my mom I'd be a millionaire by the time I'm 23.
Bam! He's making those visualizations happen, baby.
Yeah, and so, dude, to answer your question, right now that I'm seeing results and I'm seeing my clients get results,
right?
And like my clients, bro, like within 60 days, their life is changing. Like I had someone who is a medtech entrepreneur joined us, and now as I told you, he wanted to become a speaker. He's putting out speaking gigs, and he has like an 8-figure back-end business doing really well. But he's unknown, and he's really known. He's like infamous in his space, but he's unknown in the world.
Got you.
We started with him. He's already 2 months in, and now we're putting him in front of a network of podcasts that their listeners are decision makers for speaking gigs, and eventually is like and the goal behind that, and we're probably gonna do in the next 2 weeks, is to get him a speaking gig of like 25-30 grand. Boom, like
damn, like money back in the pocket. Pay my boy Adam.
Bro. Like he paid us $3,000 a month. He's paid $6,000 so far.
Yeah.
By the time he's probably paid $8,000, I'm gonna make sure to get him a speaking gig that's 10 times that value, so he can keep going. And the fact that I can do that is like, shit, dude, that's awesome. And so now that I'm seeing that happen, it's making me realize that this vision that I have is real, 100%. And when I look myself in the mirror, I know this was like a long answer to your question. When I look myself in the mirror, I say, this is the only thing I ever tell myself, man, thank God. We say alhamdulillah in Arabic, which basically means may God be blessed, and thank God for the opportunity. But yeah, man, like, and by the way, I still go through I have like relationship problems. I'm a normal human.
Right.
And so, but what keeps me going is that when I wake up and I notice what's in front of me, like, dude, I'm 22. I got an office. I got a team.
Freaking bad.
I got clients paying me top dollar to like, to
help them with their dreams.
Help other people.
Right.
And to help them with their dreams. Like,
yeah, you're helping them with
I'm making dreams come true, bro. What the hell?
Crazy, bro.
But that's also a testimony. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this,
yeah,
a part of me, dude, like my first video a couple of days ago on TikTok for the first time, 2.4 million views. I was completely shocked, but a part of me said I kind of deserved it.
Right. Yeah, you've been putting in the work, dude.
Because I had 5 years ago, man, I had no idea. I was depressed, hurt, in the hospital bed, thinking I was about to die, mentally not there, going through withdrawals, having to do all that crap. If anyone's experienced that, it's a really, really tough thing. And the fact that I'm sitting here alive with the blessing and the opportunity in front of me with the people I'm in, I don't it just goes to show you though, like if you guys are listening to this, if you have a dream, even if it doesn't make any sense in the beginning, just chip at it.
Right.
Chip at it. Because you never know. Like, I can't believe that my job is to make other people's dreams come true. Like,
fucking nuts, dude.
Like, what a
it's like layups, baby, all day. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I could be the most depressed person. I could have the worst day. Like literally right before I started this podcast, I wasn't even really feeling too great. As we're talking, my energy went poop.
Right.
Because my job helps me be happy.
Yeah.
And that's how I think life should be for everybody, dude.
Right. Yeah, if you're not in that, you need to go find that, folks. You need to go sniff that out. My man, I really appreciate you, bro. You got some incredible energy. I can see the business just continually flourishing as more and more people need to hop on podcasts. And obviously, if you got a dream, folks, and you're thinking, I can't tackle this on my own, you need to hire someone, a professional like my boy Adam here. We'll put the links in the place, but where's the best place for people to find you or find more about the business?
Dude, I make it really easy for people to find me. If any of you guys are interested in, working with me or talking to me about anything,
absolutely.
On all social medias, Adam Totounji.
Boom.
My full name. You can literally Google me and you will find 1,000 areas to be able to reach me.
That's amazing.
So,
he keeps it consistent, folks. He keeps it consistent.
Yeah, dude. I post I'll tell you, in terms of content, the only thing we're trying to scale now is the episodes. But TikTok, I post 3 videos a day. Instagram, 2 posts a day. To LinkedIn, 2 posts a day. Facebook, I'm not on Facebook.
Right.
But every single social media that I am on, it's a daily
grinding, hustling, pushing.
I mean, you know how it is, bro. You don't build 35,000 people on accident.
Absolutely, man. And my show's a little show, but that's okay, because your boy's show is continually growing. And one day we're going to get a Tony Robbins or Oprah, and then this show is going to go viral. Actually, when we publish this show, folks, we're going to get more volume and listeners because my man and his energy is going to spread more to the love, to the world. You're going to want to share this episode. Folks, you've been hanging out.
And let me just, before we end.
Absolutely.
You said Oprah, all that stuff, bro. Now that you've met me, we'll make it happen.
Let's make it happen, baby. Let's go. Let's make it. Tony's on the way, baby. Folks, we've been hanging out with my boy, Adam Totounji and Travis 𝐸𝐺. We want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform, and also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy 𝐇𝐻 a review. I would really super appreciate it, and thank you so much for listening today. We're all going through a lot right now, and Real-Time Outsource, my business, is giving back to local and small businesses. Through our social media services and campaigns, we are actually helping small businesses get more exposure during these times, and also when we get through these times. At the end of the day, we don't know how long this is all going to last, but most importantly, you got to think about your business right now and take it seriously. So come check us out at realtimeoutsource.com, realtimeoutsource.com, and we would love for you to qualify and get the process started where we can take a look at your business and see if we can qualify you for some of our services. At little to no cost for most of the businesses, and some businesses, you're gonna have to pay, but that's just part of life, right? But most importantly is that I think this is the time, folks, that you can actually help thrive in your business. And so I would love to help you personally with our team. We're all going through a tough time right now, so take advantage of us. realtimeoutsource.com. Check us out, and we would love to do some business with you and help you with your social and digital media in 2020 and beyond.